Bo5 between, we need to swap the names, Nightmare in the top left and Clement from Clement à la France, c'est la vie, c'est très bien, c'est comme ci comme ça, ça va, je suis jambon, je suis heureux, c'est Clem. It is Clem, of course, playing from Texas, living in France. The world champion, reigning world champion. Allez, Clem, of course. Allez, les. I don't even know what red means in French. Allez, les bleu, of course, I know. I know what blue means, bleu. That's the only color I can remember. My 3 years of French in school. It's been a long time at this this stage since I've spoken any French in school or learned anything. It means let's go Clem, of course. Who doesn't know? Allez, let's go forward or proceed. Let's go, basically. I think everyone in Europe knows it because of Allez le bleu for all of the soccer games, football games. Where France does participate, and then you hear the fans sing them. Allez les bleus. Something like that. Pause. Go. Command center. Did not get blocked because of that. Lag, I guess. So yeah, forward Clem. Can he make it happen? I think Nightmare is a good match though. Nightmare is one of those guys who is a little bit underestimated. He's a strong Protoss player. His matchup he thrives in is PvT, and even though Clem is the world's best, arguably, currently, and if not, he is still in the world top 3, and it's very tough to kick him out of there. I think Nightmare has a good shot at maybe surprising him, because I think Nightmare and Clem, they don't play that many games. But it's not expected for Nightmare to win. Not at all. The favorite overall is Clem. It has to be Clem. He is the world champion. He is just such a strong player, especially in the matchup that's not TVT. I mean, if it's TVZ, if it's TVP, it's his bread and butter. TVT is the place where he does seem to struggle sometimes. That's a cool location, by the way. He's like hiding behind that Thor. I'm a Terran too. We're both Terrans, and now he comes in. He's gonna try to go for a probe assassination. Can he also get the scout? Yeah, he does see the tech buildings. He does see the second gate come online, and he even gets out. Oh, Nightmare, a little bit flustered there in that defense. Can this adept get away? Shade is complete, but he's gonna get killed by by a marine. That marine was very brave, we have to say. He's sitting there with 1 HP, and he exactly knew that he can still get away with this. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about, right? All of these units are oh, I'm getting ideas now for new RTS games, by the way. But yeah, all of these units are fully operational at full health, right? So imagine now. Let's go ahead and actually give this a shot. By the way, Clem is going in. He's gonna get probably 2 probes. Maybe Nightmare can get a miracle defense. Only 1 worker. Yeah, that was a good defense. After all, like, after letting it in, it was still a very nice pull there. Good movement on those probes. By the way, he did never fix this gas. He needs to get this last guy on the geyser again. So what if we have an RTS where damaged units actually do have reduced something, like reduced movement speed? Would that be too complicated? Probably. Oh my god, he loses a few probes. He loses a stalker. I mean, not too many probes in total, only 3. But a stalker is always a nice pick for a Widowmine drop, so you're kind of okay there as Clem. Of course, you want to have that probe hit, that's your goal. But that's more like a kind of a money shot, right? You're not really expecting that to happen. It's more like just a little bit of a pressure. It's a poke, it's a scout as well. And it's just to throw back your opponent's timings a little bit, to kind of make him do something. And if you get a Stalker, you're quite happy, I think. A Stalker and a Probe for 2 Widow Mines, that's a good trade, in my opinion. Especially considering Nightmare did go for that Blink Stalker upgrade. And he really wants to control the map with the Stalkers. But that being said, he does not move out at all. He's just sitting back. The last thing that went across the map, I think, might have been that Adept. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I can't remember this correctly, man. It's not looking to be that aggressive. Now Raven is gonna go across. More and more barracks coming online here. And this is a very defensive setup. As I said, Nightmare is known to be a powerful PvT player. And he's setting up a 3rd base at this point. Ship battery on the way here. Posturing this just a tiny bit. It's going into that High Templar Storm. And that could be a great defense against the Raven. If he spots that one beforehand, he can just throw down that feedback, but the Raven is gonna get the first shot. It's gonna call the auto turret down on that 3rd base and even on the natural. A little bit of a wasted opportunity in my opinion. After you see that one, you could have definitely gone there with that High Templar and get that feedback onto the Raven to render it useless. Now medevac drop coming here on the left side. More and more barracks being added, and the 3rd CC is about to finish up here for Clem from France. Who made the best payday of his life in August last year. And apparently he has to pay like 62% tax. 62%. That's not fair, is it? 62%. I would even hate to pay 50%. If I'm Clem, I like open up a company and in that year and I just like invest into something and try to write off everything off tax as much as I can with like the best investment strategy. I hope he made something like that, because I hope he didn't pay 62% of his income last year. That was way too much. Now this is a good push, but I think Nightmare has just the correct answer to everything to just pull this apart. And in the end, 9 probes do fall. The Raven doing its part as well. And it is a good attack. It does keep the Protoss low on drones or probes. I mean, he does not really have any drones at all, so good work there, Clem. But in the end, yeah, Nightmare's behind in workers, and this is kind of a situation where he really wants to look at the 4th base, but he does not have the income. He just keeps on losing little by little here, and Clem is starting to pull ahead more and more. The next attack, it's going to be more and more difficult. Attack for attack is going to be more extreme here. It's going to be more ahead for Clem. He does trade a lot of units for workers, but he also trades units for units, so he does actually have a bigger army. And Nightmare is trying to play a gateway heavy style, but you kind of need like 2 bases ahead of the Terran to actually make that one succeed. Now Clem is not expanding that fast himself. He does have the 3rd base up and running, as we pointed out earlier. He's going into the 4th command center now, but he's kind of slowly progressing and just harassment heavy on this map so far. Now finally Nightmare is gonna make a push up, but it is so small. There is this defense set up here for Clem, but he just doesn't care. He just goes across the map. He's gonna evacuate the base, and he's gonna stick on his bunker down here. He still needs a few units though, but then he can close down the game. He's gonna intercept this forge, deny the upgrade. It's gonna kill that warp prism that's about to pop here, and Nightmare has a recall. He's actually, where's he recalling? Oh, into the main. I think that's the worst position to recall. I mean, Clem is now on the bottom of this ramp. And this, oh my god, this should never get broken. Now that's some nice storm flanks, but it's one storm short. And Nightmare did manage to calm down the ramp, but at what cost? So in the end, Clem did evacuate all of the workers, while Nightmare did lose the Nexus and the workers. He did lose 18. There's still that Raven, by the way, hanging in that area in the top. And Clem is starting to seesaw the action. Even that Marine, the luckiest Marine to be alive here. That Raven is still waiting for another opportunity, already sitting at 13 kills. Was never dealt with. And it's gonna throw down another auto turret in just a second. A second, there we go. Maybe a little bit overzealous there. Even that High Templar being warped in, try and feedback, but of course the Raven was a tiny bit too fast. Now Nightmare trying to go for that next base, but he can't even saturate his current setup. He's long distance mining even at this point. There's 2 Nexus on the way here. He still has a formidable army. But once Clem snipes these High Templars, or gets EMPs on those, the army is completely a whack. That's the first snipe. Oh no, good feedback here. Nice reaction there, but the second one is gonna get a EMP, so no feedback, no storm. Nexus, under fire, under pressure, is gonna die. Boom. And Nightmare, can he get those storms he needs? He does simply lack the numbers of Templar. And I think he's trying to check for the EMP. There's one more EMP and that goes. Now the EMP is used up and there's no EMP. And he has 170 energy. That's 2 storms. Now if he can get that perfect double storm, that's a decent one. That's a good storm here on the right side, but it's still not enough. The reinforcements are just a tiny bit too much here. Clem pushing in for the win. Nightmare holding on for a long time with less than I thought he could. But I mean, at this point Clem also has this base, and he has a 5th on the way, and GG is gonna be called. Liquid Clem winning the first map out of this best of 5. Allez le bleu. Allez Mr. Clem. Allez Monsieur Clem. A very interactive, very sweet person actually in real life. Super nice guy. He's actually Mr. Nice Guy. If we have one in StarCraft, it would be Clem. He is really Mr. Nice Guy. But you saw his reaction when he got bopped by Rogue in that best of 5, I think. Like a few months ago. With that crazy style of mass changeling. Right? And mass Nidus and Lurker, and you all saw that, you all remember that. That's also a side of Clem that does appear. The frustrated Clem. And that's the keyboard smashing Clem. Alright, let's go into the next game. It's gonna be in the top right of ley lines, Clement, and in the bottom left we do have Nightmare. What's his actual name? Shack. Nightmare, SC2. Results. Wait one second, yeah, okay. I don't want to have his results, I want his name. His name is Yang Wook. I hope I didn't butcher the pronunciation. And I'm not sure which one is which, the first name or the last name. Nightmare going for a proxy. This is... what is this gonna be? Just a proxy gate? Kind of a... adjusted max packs. Of course the max packs would be only the pylon in the base, and then the second pylon across the map, and the gateway across the first gate across the map, I think. I'm actually not sure. I can't remember the actual original max packs at this point. It's been so long. Now Clem is going for that one base. Oh, he sees. That's why. He blocks with the engineering bay, and he kind of knows. And he just goes for a factory. And yeah, blocks his ramp. Now, damage on the marine is gonna be nice if he can get a second hit. Or maybe a gas stolen, yeah. Stuff like that would be cool. He's gonna go for a Nexus, it seems. Is he though, actually? Is he though? Or is he faking? I think he's faking. There we go, double Stalker on the way. Not making a Zealot. Stalker is gonna get thrown and boosted. No Warp Gate yet. And I wonder, with only one gas, his goal is to get just a Nexus up and running. Oh, there's the Zealot. There we go. I was wondering where that guy was. Now, why no second gas? This means there's not going to be that follow-up duo of Stalkers immediately. It takes a little while. There we go. And he really delays his Warp Gate by quite a bit. Now, there we go. He cancels the Stalker, gets the Warp Gate. This feels like a non-fleshed out build. That's a little bit weird. Maybe Nightmare already had a few too many drinks on that night when he was playing this series. I don't know. Oh, can he push this SCV off that cliff? I don't think so. Clem is gonna evacuate it. Or at least give it a normal death. Now Clem is making everything on the high ground. Playing this very safe, smart approach here. And this push is not gonna do anything. Cyclone is gonna completely wreck this, by the way. He's gonna get the first lock on, it's gonna get start on trading, cooldown for nothing basically. That's the goal here. I mean, first Stalker, poof, is gonna fall here. There was a huge delay on that research, by the way. This probe man is walking the long way. No, finally he's gonna fix this. Twilight Council, of course, the follow-up. And this Nexus doesn't really have enough workers to even be saturated. 2 more barracks coming online. No starport yet. So this is going to be a 3 racks follow-up. This should be a powerful 2-base push. Maybe with some bunkers. And we already see some siege tanks in production. By the way, did you guys remember, or did you guys know, that in Wings of Liberty you have to research siege mode? Yes, indeed. It is a research on the tech lab. The normal siege tanks actually do not have siege, just like in Brood War. Now that was a very good trade here for Clem. And if you can get these guys back home safely, you can even just stand in this bush. Yeah, he's gonna, oh my god, he's gonna completely wreck him. Yeah, Nightmare's not gonna fall for that one. There we go, man. That would be the worst situation to go in there. By the way, I have, on this map specifically in a PvP half, Hero do a very cool thing against Classic. He hits some units over here, and he hits some units over on the ramp, and then Classic pushes in with a few units in this area, and then he pokes into basically into this spot, and then Hero comes from this angle here and cuts off the units, pushes at the same time from the top of his ramp and gets a couple of free units. Was a really cool tactical maneuver, man. Hero the goat of tactic. Four Stalkers only, no blink yet though. He needs to kind of delay this push. It does not have stim or combat shield yet, but so this is not the committed push that we are waiting on. And he's actually grabbing a engineering bay. That's an interesting addition. Maybe it's just for a missile turret or something to keep safe, but I figure it should be for a +1 upgrade. Now, this is a good position here for Nightmare to hold against Clem, but he's gonna lose a few Stalkers here or there. Those Cyclones have been trading so well, man. 2 kills and 2 kills. That should be all Stalkers. It's 4 Stalkers. They have been really delivering those last shots. Nightmare wanted to attempt to take that 3rd base, but just can't. Now he needs to defend. Finally, we do see the first Immortal. Can it immediately pop one of those Cyclones? Yes, it's gonna get that one. Blink on top of those tanks, maybe a little bit too much. Stim did finish up, combat shields did finish up just in the perfect amount of time. And everything's gonna die here for Nightmare. GG is gonna be called. Clement taking map number 2. After a wacky opening for both players. King's Cove is gonna be the next map. That's a big one. That's a big one. Clem is already up 2-0. In the top left, we do have the man in question, Clem, and the bottom right, it is Nightmare. Throwing down a pylon, and of course the supply depot. The standard opening for everything and everywhere and every StarCraft game. Remember when you could place the barracks before the supply depot? Yeah, that used to be a thing. But that already went away during the last Wings of Liberty patch. Meanwhile, Protoss still has to wait on that cybernetic score after the gateway to do anything. It's literally the only building that enables something with gas to be used. So it is the greatest of all technologic buildings from the Protoss arsenal. The peak of Protoss engineering. Cybernetic score. I mean, everything else before that costs only gas. You cannot make any adepts. Only minerals. You can basically only make zealots, probes, cannons, pylons, forges, gateways, simulators, and I guess cybernetic scores. And all of that only costs minerals. There's no adepts, no stalkers, no sentries. There's nothing that shoots, by the way. Because technically probes do zap, so it should be a range, but it isn't in this edition of the game. Unlike Brood War. Reaper going across this. Actually, I really like the design of the map. I never hated King's Cove, I really was a fan. But I don't like bringing back old maps into an existing ladder pool, right? So, not sure about that one. But I wouldn't mind like a remake or like a version that has like a map that has the same kind of sandy look to it. Now Reaper coming in, it's gonna see the tech, it's gonna find out about the Stargate. That's a little bit of a different choice, something you don't see every day. And he's gonna get a probe at least, he's gonna get 2 at least, boom. And he's gonna get the third one. And then he's gonna throw a grenade to make things jump here. No, 1 factory, 1 barracks, and 1 starport. There we go. And he knows that's an oracle on the way. Now the current cyclone is even better against the oracle than the last one. So we'll have to wait and see how this is gonna operate here. If Nightmare can find an opening, or if Clem is gonna be on point on that defense. He has already 6 marines, 7 marines actually in this area. I think the tipping point is like 5 marines. If you have 5 marines against an oracle, they should start to win. If you have 6 marines, they definitely win. If you have 4 marines, they'll lose, and the oracle will win. It might be, it also comes of course down to engagement, but it's like simply if you A-move in the oracle and A-move the marines, that's what happens. Oh, he's gonna shade into that cyclone here. Cyclone drop. And a Marine push out and a second Cyclone. So 2 Cyclones. The Oracle trying to set up few stasis traps. I'm not sure. He already has 1 stasis trap in this area. Maybe 1 over here would be better. Is he gonna set up 1 there? Maybe that's a little bit too off. Not sure. It's difficult. Maybe 1 over here would have been great. Now Clem is gonna potentially drop into the main, but maybe he just walks into the stasis trap. And then he drops into the other one. Phoenix here. Now if Nightmare can catch this drop, that's actually, man, these stasis have been great. I was questioning them, but Nightmare had the correct read and he had the perfect placements. Really good stuff. Extremely, completely smashing this army into the ground only for some energy. That's basically the best trade you can ever get. That Stalker should move away, he's gonna get targeted. See? He was a little bit too greedy with that Stalker, but that's gonna be fine. And then he's gonna grab this Cyclone as well. He's not gonna get away. Oof. Nightmare, perfect defense. Look at this, 3 probes, 1 adept for Medivac, Reaper, 2 Cyclones, 8 Marines. That's the defense you wanna have. Amazing start here for our Protoss player. Is going into that charge. Oops, not on the correct facility. There we are. Is going into that Templar archives with the Storm immediately and robotics facility afterwards. Did Clem see any of that? Actually, no, he does not. Neither does he see the robotics, nor does he see that Templar archive, so he does not actually know what's going on. And he needs to guess or scan. So far he hasn't done either. He does not really go for anything that does counter one or the other. No Vikings, nor are there ghosts on the way. No concussive shells yet, needs to get that fixed up. It's a very cheap upgrade. Stokers were trying to go for the Medivac, but nice evacuation there by Clem. He's walking in another stasis trap. He has so many stasis traps set up, and as a matter of fact, Clem is kind of falling for them. Now there's none in this area here, and only that shield battery is not going to be enough to keep this safe. No warping available apparently, and Nightmare has to walk up. He's walking in Stoker's not sure about that one. Now he's gonna lose a gateway down under here. Oh no, those Templars! No. The one with the high energy got killed off as well. As much as I was praising the start before, this follow-up push, it's about to kill Nightmare. It definitely made things very, very different. So as cool as the start was, now Nightmare is quite far behind. He did lose some very valuable units here in those High Templars, even the Phoenix, a few Stalkers. He did lose a gateway, a little bit of infrastructure. He did lose 15 workers. So he basically lost every advantage he had. He had an economic advantage, he had an army advantage, he had a tech advantage, and he loses on all of those fronts. Now, it's still a very much playable position, but he is behind at this point. Clem has edged himself another lead. Oh man, that Cyclone sniping the High Templar, very painful here. Another good Storm. Not hit that Widowmine, unfortunately. Does the Widowmine see the stasis? Yeah, that's a good... Oh, shoot that. Oh, it does? I thought it triggered for a second. It didn't. Clem is just gonna kite this one. There's no Storm on those Templars. They're all depleted. The energy overcharge is not ready. He needs to make an Archon. He can't utilize those guys. He's waiting for Storm, but they're gonna get sniped before they can get that Storm out. And Nightmare does not manage to defend against the follow-up push from Clem. Even though he was looking so good in that early defense. Wow, what a follow-up.